had a dream last night. Actually, this was 2 nights ago, but I was flying above. Okay, let me rewind a little bit. I was on ground at first, and then there were some heavy winds coming. Those heavy winds turned into a tornado, a full blown tornado, and I saw people being thrown like against structures, and it was a very strong tornado, and people were being having their like limbs severed because they were being thrown all over the place. And I was like, oh snap, I've never been in a tornado, this is crazy, this is wild. And the wind rolls me up and started sending me a certain direction as well. But I be flying in my dreams. I fly a lot. But anyway, so it was so crazy because like beneath me, I saw people like having their like getting thrown against structures and having like, it was just messy. And then, so I was just like, okay, well, the wind is taking me. So I kind of surrendered to it and was just like, I'm going to try to go with the wind and basically like fly with the wind, right? And so as I'm kind of like directing my body and like trying to work with the wind and like not collide with anything, not collide with any structures, buildings or whatever, there were bombs going off beneath me. There were explosions happening beneath me. So not only am I like dodging structures, like I'm going with the wind, flying, maneuvering my body, but now I'm also like maneuvering against these huge massive explosions of like smoke and heat. And I don't remember how it ended, but that was my dream. Like that was a section of my dream. I don't even remember what was happening before the tornado started, but I do remember I was in like a public place, an outdoor place. It was public, and I don't remember where I ended up. And it seemed like a city, but I thought that was very interesting. And I tell that story because I want to talk about intuition and like our psychic abilities that we all have. Like I feel like we all have had. Like when I say I feel, this is because there's certain things that you just know, right? Like it's like it's coded in you. It's like it's like how babies know to contort their body a certain way to exit the womb. Like who taught them that, right? But there's just certain things that are coded in us, a DNA genetically coded in us. So when we do certain things or when we feel certain ways, I try not to question it mentally and logically too much, because we feel things with our heart. Well, we feel things with our gut and in our heart, right? We feel things first, and then we start to rationalize it. So you feel it first, and then you start to be like, does that make sense? Da 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 da. But what does it mean to make sense? Usually, when we're trying to like think about things logically, we're trying to confirm, like we're trying to put it through like what society and what we've basically been taught is right or wrong. Like we're trying to like analyze it from the perspective of this post-colonized society, you know what I mean? So like sometimes when we feel things, or when I personally feel things, I don't question it. It kind of just is what it is. But anyway, so regarding dreams, I have dreams quite often that like the next day I'll see what I just dreamt about, or in my or I'll have conversations in my dreams, and then the topic will come up the next day. And so it's almost like it's basically proving to me, and it's just like a reminder. Like I already know these things, but I feel like certain things happen just so that I can really know and just really like not second guess or question or anything what my powers are and what our powers are. We all share these powers. But anyway, yeah, I feel like we all share these powers, and it's just about how tuned in to these powers are we? Like, are we able to listen? Like, is the water clear? Like, are things clear, or are they a bit muggy? Has it been tainted with poison, with all type of toxins? And so it's like you can't really see it, so you're second guessing. Like, did I see what I saw, or what I thought I saw? Da 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 da. Or is it clear? And it's like, okay, that's what I feel. I can see it. I can clearly see it. I know it. I know that it's there. And I feel like there's certain things we can do in order to heighten our natural abilities, like our natural psychic abilities. Like there's like clairvoyance and like audiovoyance. It's definitely not called audiovoyance, but like there's the ability to like hear certain things, and sometimes I do hear. Well, I feel like sometimes I do. Actually, I feel like more so. I feel like a lot of my skills and talents, psychic abilities or whatever, come through dreams. I feel like in the dream world, I'm pretty tapped in. Although I don't always remember my dreams, like, and then what happened before I started flying, and where did I end up? I just know that in that dream, I felt like I survived. Like, I just remember being like, hey, I'm gonna surrender and I'm gonna adapt. Like, I pivoted so fast, and so I'm proud of myself for that, because that just lets me know that in the event of some type of disaster, I'll be able to pivot. I won't be like, because some certain people that when the wind was blowing, they were just being blown. Like, it was almost like they were just caught off guard, and they didn't, like, they panicked, and they were just like in this state of chaos. Like, I feel like in a crazy situation like that, like, we have to be like mindful of our breath, and we have to be present, and we have to be like nimble. And in order to be nimble, you have to be present. Like, you can't be like completely like razzled and frazzled, because then you're just, you're going to be a victim to whatever's happening. And it's like, in that moment, like, I realized that I needed to control what was happening. I needed to go with it. Not control it, but I needed to go with it. I needed to control myself with what was happening. Like, I needed to just coexist with it immediately, and not like resist it, and not, because when you're frazzled and where you're just like, wait, what, da 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 da, it's almost like you're resisting. It's like you're not accepting of what's happening right now. Like, you don't want it to be happening. You didn't expect it, da 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 da, and now you're just like, what? But if you just kind of like release and relax and be like, okay, this is happening right now. Now what do I do? Quickly, the quicker you can do that, the better. And I feel like in these times, we need to be able to have these abilities. Like, we need to be able to hear what we hear. Like, some people can hear certain things and they don't know, like, what was that? You know what I mean? Like, some people can really hear voices, and I feel like those people are the ones that are called schizophrenic, right? And then some people can see certain things. Like, I'm able to see things, not just in my dreams, but I'm able to see, like, for example, I invest in the stock market, and this one stock ticker, a ticker is basically the symbol. Like, the ticker for Apple is AAPL, the ticker for Tesla is TSLA, or whatever. And so I saw a specific ticker in my head, like, in my eye. It's not like my eyes were always closed. Like, it just came to me, and it came to me 3 times, y'all. Yeah, I know 3 is a very powerful number, and it's also my life path number. But anyway, so the ticker came to my head, and I was told to invest in it. Like, I knew it wasn't coming in my head for no reason, so I knew to invest in it. And y'all, I made $1,000 off of it in like 2-3 days. So that was very powerful to me, because let me rewind with that story. Like, I saw that ticker come to my head 3 times, right? Through like the series of a few days. And then I was watching the stock, because something about it was, I was cautious, right? I was cautious. I was being too dense or whatever, but I was cautious about it. So I didn't pull the trigger. I didn't buy it yet. I just wanted to wait and kind of see what happens. So there's something that you can do where you can like fake buy it. You can see what would have happened, like how much money you would have bought, like how much money you would have gotten, or like earned or whatever had you invested. And so I did that just to see, because I just wanted to know, like, am I really like being given, downloading like that advice right now? Like, is that really coming to me? And so why did that ticker blow up? Like, why did it completely shoot up? I was completely right? I was completely right. Perfect entry. It went up. I would have doubled my money. And I was just like, dang, that's insane, right? It was real. And so, boom, like a week or 2 or something goes by, and that stock crashes. Now, I would have taken profit, so I would have made money, right? Because when things go up that fast, you know to take profit, because how high do you think it's going to go? So I know I would have made money, but the thing is, it ended up coming down, and it came down even lower than the original place that I would have invested in. It came back lower. So I'm not trying to, so I don't want to make this a financial chat, but just stick with me, bear with me. So it came back lower. Now, when it came back lower, something in me felt like, okay, now buy it again. Because stocks tend to, when they go up, and they come down, they tend to want to come right back up to where they started from, right? And so I'm like, okay, well, bet this is even a better entry. So I got in even lower, and that means I can make even more money, right? There's more room for it to go up. I got in, and that's when I made that $1,000 in like a day or two. So that to me helps me know that like all we got to do is listen, right? All we got to do is listen. Some like signs and synchronicities and like our ability to just know things, like our ability to attract confirmation about what it is that we should do, it comes to us. It's just a matter of, are we in tune? Like, how sensitive are we to certain information? Because it's like, I don't know if this is in the Bible. I don't know where this phrase came from, but there's a thing that's like, God whispers, right? God will tell you what to do, but God's not going to yell. God's not going to shout it and be like, ah! Like, you have, like, it's, God loves us so much, but we are guided in a gentle way, right? We're guided in a gentle way. So if we're doing the most and we're like, nah, and we're just like so caught up in doing whatever, then that gentle push is not going to really phase us much. And we are not going to be really walking in alignment with what our higher self wants us to be doing. But when we kind of like rest and relax and surrender and like tune out to too much of like the distractions, and we kind of like ask and we like just give ourselves, and we're just like, God, we pray, right? We're just like, God, lead me, show me, guide me. And we have more moments of stillness where we're not like saying too much, doing too much, reading too, like just taking in too much noise. When we calm our waters and allow our water to clear up, that's when, okay, boom, a pebble is dropped in the water and you can clearly see the ripples. You can clearly see everything that's going on. But if your waters are just like, God can drop a little nugget of gold and you're not even going to notice because you're just doing the most. You're doing your own thing. So sometimes we just have to like wait for God to kind of like give us and show us or whatever. And there's multiple ways that we can receive this input from God's input. And so stillness is the key. Like, however we can get still and however we can just like tune in to ourselves, because God gives us messages through ourselves and through other people. Like, God will send messengers to us and God will send angels to us. But if we're not in tune with ourselves and if we haven't been doing the work, we're not going to recognize it. Like, somebody can really have a message for us, but we just won't hear them. And so, like, even with our dreams, there are certain things that inhibit our ability to remember our dreams. I think weed is one of them. I be hearing that. Like, I know Earl Sweatshirt has a lyric about that. But anyway, some other ways, this isn't really how to cleanse your water or whatever. I mean, if it was going to be that video, I would probably just say meditation is like the best way to do that. Just silence, just get rid of all the noise. But I mean, just a couple things that I'll also add is cleaning up your diet. Whoa, what is that up there? There's like some animal. What the heck? It looks like a squirrel, but it's not a squirrel. It's gray and it has a very long tail. I don't know. Anyway, it's in the orange tree right in front of me. Here, I'll show y'all. It's like right up there somewhere. Anyway, if we eat clean and eat fruits and vegetables, like, you want to just clean up your diet. Like, we know what's good. We know what's clean and healthy for us, right? Like, you know, if you're watching fights of people, they fighting, they kicking each other. You watching bloody stuff, guns and shooting and murders and stuff. Like, if you're saturating your head with like toxic stuff, and like I said, we have the code in us, and sometimes there's certain things that you just know are wrong. But I don't know, maybe I'm just different, like, because I'm sensitive to certain things. So some people just might be so out of touch and so not sensitive. They're so calloused, right? They're so hard. Like, you hear the idea of like someone's heart being hard. You want your heart to be soft. Like, so people put up these walls. That's what walls are. Walls are walls are like your way to try to protect yourself. But because when you're sensitive and when you're open like that, you're more vulnerable, right? Like, you're more vulnerable, but it doesn't have to be like that. Like, you can still have thick skin or whatever and not be, because, okay, for example, like with wisdom, if somebody's talking smack about you, you can have an open heart, and all that means is that you're gonna be able to like not take it personally, right? Because that's wisdom, knowing that if this person is going off on you and talking stuff about you, it's not anything personal towards you. Especially if it's just really malicious stuff. There's a difference between somebody criticizing, like, oh, I think you could have did that better, like, I think that blah 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 blah, like, okay, there's something different. You can, like, we have to have discernment also, and just wisdom with knowing what somebody is saying to us. Like, is that actually something that I can take and like learn from and be like, okay, I can move differently? Or is somebody just projecting straight up at you and they're just mad internally and they have a lot of stuff going on internally, and so they throw that at you? Wisdom is going to allow you to kind of not absorb it, right? Wisdom is going to allow you to be like, damn, like, I see that you're not, you probably don't have to say this because people, it'll probably make them even more frustrated. Or maybe you do, I don't know, but you can just be like, damn, like, I see you and I can tell like you're frustrated. I'm gonna, you could pray for this person and just understand that they're struggling. Like, it's really nothing personal, like, especially if you didn't actually do anything wrong, or if you're trying your best to be righteous, like, you're trying your best to walk a righteous path. But yeah, so if you eat clean, if you are cautious with the things that you're consuming, social media, TV, your diet, like, are you exercising or not? Are you having energy flow through you? Like, you just want to maintain a balance in general when it comes to your health, when it comes to the health of your soul, your spirit, your mind, your body, everything. You just want to strive to be balanced and strive to be like nature. You know what I mean? You don't want to abuse anything and do anything too much, right? Like, if you smoke weed, that's fine, but just like, don't smoke too much of it. You know what I mean? Like, if you drink alcohol, that's absolutely fine, but just like, don't abuse it. Like, whatever you do, just don't abuse it, and don't think you're better than anybody. Don't judge people. Like, there are certain principles of life that are so simple and so basic, and so you want to get to the simple basic things, like, kind of like how nature is, right? Like, nature can teach us so much. Working in a garden can teach you so much about just how universal laws work, because that's the laws that nature runs on. So I feel like when we get back to that baseline of just natural law, natural order, and balance, that's when we can restore our natural like abilities. Because it's not natural, for example, to be binging on social media, to be on social media all the time. It's not natural to never sit with your thoughts and like hear what you hear and like just tune into how you feel. It's not natural to not want to strive towards self-awareness. You know what I mean? Like, it's not natural to isolate yourself and not have community. So when we get to what's natural, I feel like these abilities just will naturally be, that's at least what I've done. Because my natural abilities, I feel like when we're kids, they're heightened, right? Like, everybody knows that kids, sometimes they be seeing stuff. They be seeing like the boogeyman. They sometimes see these entities that want to prey on their innocence. And parents are just like, oh, don't worry, it's your imagination and stuff like that. Like, it gets written off. Like, a lot of our skills and abilities gets written off. Some people can actually see things, and some people can actually hear things. And what are the other voyances? Like, just feeling things, having visions, right? Like, that's like having the dreams. And just, there's so many talents. There's so many psychic abilities. Telepathy, guys. Telepathy. Okay, real quick, that's the last thing I'll say, but telepathy is basically the ability to read minds. But I think what it is that like, there's invisible forces, like pheromones, for example. This isn't even like that, like, magical. This stuff is science. So, but the thing is, it is magic. Anyway, but pheromones, there's like invisible chemicals that our bodies are communicating with each other. Like, we have like a natural, like an electromagnetic field. Everybody does. Everybody has an aura. And so when you interact with somebody else's aura, you might not have to communicate with your words how you feel about this person, what you think about this person, blah blah blah, what you have going on. Your aura is that. Like, your aura is you. So if this person is sensitive and perceptive, they have a highly they have a high perception ability to perceive you, they are going to pick up on that. Even pheromones, right? Like, what you eat comes out of your pores, and people can smell things. Like, there's just ways. That's how, like, when you walk in a room, people can either feel your presence. They can feel your, they can, like, feel your confidence. They can feel, like, this person is a light. This person has been doing internal work. Like, they shine from within, right? Or people who are, like, being fake. You can tell when somebody is just smiling in your face, but they don't mean anything that they're saying, or they're not really about it. Like, they're trying. You can just tell. It's like, what are you doing right now? Like, it just, there's, like, you'll feel the conflicting energy. Something will just feel off, and a red flag will go up, right? So I remember when I was younger, I was told not to be so sensitive. That's something that I was told a lot. Like, why are you so sensitive? Why are you so sensitive? Blah, blah, blah. And at some point, I probably thought it was bad to be sensitive, because that meant that, like, things get to me easily. And now I realize that it's not necessarily bad to be sensitive. It's just not good to take everything personal, right? It's just not good to absorb things and to be so reactory, that's not a word, but to be so, like, reactive to what somebody is saying to you. Like, you can't, like, if somebody is coming at you, if let's say baseline is right here and somebody starts coming at you like this, that doesn't mean you have to, like, start doing the same thing as them. Like, you need to be able to hold your ground and stick to whatever the heck is going on and not be fazed by external circumstances. That's what I've learned. So not to take things personally, and just to be so solid in who I am. Like, but getting to know yourself, know thyself. They always say know thyself, right? So, like, self-awareness will just help you not be so phased. Like, you want to be like a tree, and when wind blows, you don't want to just like snap, because you're just so rigid, and like, you know, you're so rigid. You want to be able to, like, bend with it. You want to be able to just be like, okay, I see what's going on, but you're not actually moving me, right? So it is important to be sensitive. You have to be sensitive. You have to be able to adjust. Just like my dream with the tornado, like, I sensed the wind immediately. I was so present. Like, I was very perceptive to what was going on. I wasn't caught off guard because I wasn't in some other world. I was present, and I was perceiving, and I was being sensitive to the situation. And that's what helped me survive. So that's my video. I hope you guys enjoyed it. I hope you learned something from this. I'm constantly learning. That's what all these videos are about, or just like my wisdoms and me kind of just connecting the dots and piecing things together, gaining more wisdom from nature, and giving thanks, and also just sharing it, because I'm a conduit, right? So I'm a vessel. So I'm open to receiving, and God knows that. That's why God made me beautiful, because God knows that people are going to look and want to listen to a beautiful person. God made me beautiful because I'm supposed to be sharing my wisdom and knowledge. God made me able to communicate effectively and efficiently and concisely, because I'm supposed to be able to do, like, I'm supposed to do that. So I'm just being obedient. That's why I have a YouTube channel, and my YouTube actually turned 8 years old. Today is January 18th, and my YouTube is 8 years old today. So that's beautiful. But anyway, thank you guys for watching, and I hope you guys have a prosperous rest of your year, rest of your day, and etc., etc. Make sure you like the video. Thank you for so much support. Comment below what you think about this. Do you have any abilities? And yeah, I love you guys. Bye.